Let's talk about Henco van Wyk, everybody, because we are talking about potentially the next Jacques Fourie, a player who's been touted to have played for the Boks for a long time, ever since really making his debut and coming through at the Lions. Injuries have slowed his progress, but he's been on the Bok radar for 2 or 3 years now, and will join the alignment camp in March. And I think this is going to hopefully be the year, touch wood, for his debut. And there's a reason why he's such an exciting prospect. He has it all: the defense, the attack, the game analysis, the game awareness for me to become an absolute top class player. And what we're talking about today is that man on screen over there, and just looking at some of the things he does so well. And quite apart from anything else, you watch this against Munster, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over the line, score your try. I mean, Justin over there, you just watch a single player take apart Munster. And it's disgraced all this. I mean, the stepping there, the physicality. I mean, that's the one thing about him as well. It's not just talking about a player who can tackle and is reasonably quick. The physicality he brings, he's not massive. You look at like an Ethan Hooker, for example, and you take one look at him and you think that's a large lad. Henk van Wyk, not the same build, but I tell you what, incredibly physical in the tackle. Got a lethal handoff, and there's a certain amount of determination he seems to have, where once he gets going, he just does not stop. he, what do I love about an outside centre that loves to tackle? I mean, this is what I talk about Jacques Fourie. Jacques Fourie growing up was probably the most exciting defensive outside centre to ever watch. The way he mastered the defence, how important he was. And this right now is the person who's currently learning off, for me, the go-to 13s. I love Jacques Fourie. And Henco van Wyk, you can just see, is learning a lot from him. His defensive, his one-on-one tackling is absolutely superb. Unfortunately, as a player, I think he would have made a debut last year. In all honesty, I think that we were looking at potentially different options centre. I think had he been fit, but this is where he's often so good, is his cover defense. He has got such a good technique. He's got a good turn of pace, but he's got, it's so good. Once he commits to that dive, I don't understand. I mean, he must his grip strength must be insane because he loves this dive tackle right there. That over there, that right there. I'm gonna watch it, put it again, because if you ever watch Henk van Wyk, it's almost gonna become a thing. I think this is my big shot. When he plays for the Boks, this will become his trademark thing. He doesn't have the pace there; he just has the pace to get himself close enough, and then you can put that dive tackle. And he is so good at it. He's absolutely remarkable. I've yet to see somebody of his age as well. It's so good. Like, he'll often allow you, on that kind of position, he'll give you the space on the outside to try and go around him because he backs himself every single time. He knows that every single time he's going to be able to get to you and get there. And I see he's an interesting player because he doesn't look like much to look at. Maybe having the scrum cap doesn't also actually help. But he gets through tackles very, very often. He loves it. He loves going off his feet at the tackle. He very rarely does it, and he just proper good technique, puts his shoulder down, and I think you're going to see him hammering people like that at international level for many years to come. We've been so blessed having Lukhanyo and Jacques Fourie that we haven't really actually had the opportunity to get excited about an outside centre for a long time. I think Kane Moody is the only other player that's played outside centre for the Boks in the last 2-3 years, outside Lukhanyo and Jacques Fourie, and now we have got someone who, even on under 20 level, you just look at this kid and you think he's someone special. And he's turning 24 this year. So, I think that he's probably a year or two behind where he could have been with all his injuries. He's had two really bad ones. But he's starting to look like this player over here. When he first came through and he was joining man of the match on man of the match. Him and Ruud Venter, I think, as a combination of Lions players going to play for the Boks for many, many years, is going to be one of them. But a proper hard worker. And I think what's the most exciting thing about him, and maybe shown in that clip, is by all accounts, speaking to people at the Lions, he's an incredibly hard rafter. He's not a player who takes his position for granted. For example, he puts his head down. He really puts in the work. Apparently, very quiet, very unassuming type of personality. So he is exactly, I think, what Rassie Erasmus probably wants in the Boks setup, because he wants the right people as opposed to also the best players. And take away that. Ability-wise, he's good enough. He's 100% good enough, and I love that, backing himself there, looking for the offload, and then putting the pedal to the metal. But the fact that he's also then supposedly a good grafter and has the right attitude means that I think he'll settle into that box squad very, very quickly. I think I'll be getting the next World Cup. I look at Juventus Julius, Ethan Hooker, and himself. I don't think there's space for all of them to go to the next World Cup. He, for me, goes to the next World Cup. I think you have to have him. I really do think you have to have him. I think he is a blend of a JC Creel and a Lekanya I think he's got the defensive prowess of a JC Creel and the work rate. But I do think that he doesn't quite have the flair that Lekanya has at his best. Very few people do. I mean, Lekanya on his day is one of the best players in the world. But I think he's got the creativity and the ability to get through tackles and make meters that Lekanya can in a different way. So I think he is a little bit more diverse in the way he attacks than maybe a JC Creel is, who's often used as raw pace. But I also think he's got the defensive ability. But he's incredibly strong. And he's starting to score tries. I mean, even if you look at the game over the weekend against the Bulls, he was absolutely tremendous. And the more you watch him over here, I mean, bang, over you go. There are very few of these tries, which are easy run-ins, by the way. Very few of these tries, when you get in the ball, you're thinking, well, he has to go over. This is, I think, what makes him so special. When he does crawl, they tend to be spectacular. And this is the second time we've seen a bit of breakdown work from him as well. So he's a very intelligent rugby player. And I love a player who can read a game well. Okay, this is probably the first try we've seen as a pretty easy run-in. He's had a couple. I'm not saying we had a couple. I'm saying in this particular highlights compilation, we're looking at a player who, doesn't struggle to score some spectacular tries. Again, work rate back onto his feet. he's like a terrier, when it comes to the defense. You know what it is? I think the best defenders do this. He takes his defense personally. I think the best defenders in the world are players who take it personally. Like, you will not get past me. I'm going to take it as a personal vendetta that I will not allow anybody past me. And those are the people that absolutely relish the defense. People that it's so important for them that they never ever slip a tackle. I think those are the best defenders in the world. Is that they relish in the fact that you will not get past me. I'm going to make it my mission and my only ambition right now is to make sure I'm going to reel you in. I'm going to get you on this outside. You are not going to get past me. I'm not going to miss a tackle. You are going to, get in there. He's got, and another thing, he's got the pace. And what was worrying him initially when he had those injuries was he going to be able to maintain that pace? Because a lot of his defense relies on that pace to be able to catch up with players and then put in that diving tackle, for example, and the likes of that. On a different note, though, we're going to see Chuan Horn play a lot against the Boks as well, I reckon. Nice awareness there. And I mean, all those players over there linking up are all part of Bokke lineman camps. But just a very brief compilation of a player who I'm going to put it out now. For me, he's going to be a 50 cap Bok. If he stays fit, he'll become a 50 cap Bok. I have no doubt about it. For many years, you've been worried about the succession of Lekanya and JC Creel, even Andre Estes and Damien Lendi. Well, outside centre is absolutely sorted. Him and Juventus Julius coming through is going to have a hard time, I think, taking that Bok jersey away from him. But between those two, I think and Ethan Hooker, I think we're starting to see our next Damien Lendi, JC Creel, Lekanya. And they're almost quite alike between the three of them in terms of some of the attributes they bring. But where do you think his threshold is? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you guys very soon for another reaction video.